Elon Musk just admitted America lost the moon race to China. Yes, you heard that right. While NASA's budget got cut 25%, China quietly launched Chang missions that are already operating on the moon. They're not just planning, they're doing it. Here's what's really happening. China will land astronauts on the moon before 2030. America? We can't even get our Artemis program off the ground. But why does this matter? The moon holds helium-3 worth trillions and rare metals that could change everything. Whoever gets there first wins the future. So how did we fall so far behind? And can we catch up? Let's dive right in. The secret behind Kennedy's moon promise. The truth about America's moon landing will shock you. Kennedy never wanted to go to the moon. Internal White House documents, declassified decades later, reveal he called the Apollo program expensive as hell. He tried to cancel it multiple times. So why did we go? Because America was losing badly. The Soviets had Sputnik. They had the first human in space. They were winning every single milestone. Kennedy's moon speech wasn't about exploration. It was pure desperation. The price tag was insane. $25 billion in 1960s money. That's $200 billion today. At its peak, NASA consumed 5% of the entire federal budget. 5%. If NASA got that same percentage today, their budget would be $300 billion annually. Instead, they get less than $25 billion. But here's what nobody tells you about that moment we won the space race. The day America lost interest. July 20th, 1969. Armstrong steps on the moon. America celebrates worldwide. Then something catastrophic happened. Within months, public support collapsed. Americans were dying in Vietnam. Cities were burning. Poverty was everywhere. People started asking the obvious question: why spend billions on space when we have problems here? Congress began slashing NASA's budget immediately. By 1975, the agency that put humans on the moon was reduced to launching weather satellites. The mighty Saturn V rocket, the most powerful machine ever built, was retired after just 13 flights. Think about this for a moment. We built a rocket that could send 3 men to the moon, used it successfully multiple times, then threw it away. The blueprints, the manufacturing knowledge, the entire supply chain, gone. It's like building the world's fastest race car, winning the championship, then burning down the factory because the race was over. But someone was watching, someone who learned from our mistake. China. China's brilliant 50-year strategy. While America treated the moon landing as a publicity stunt, China saw something different. They understood a truth we completely missed. Whoever controls space controls the future. In the 1970s, when America was dismantling its moon program, China quietly began their own, not with fanfare or bold speeches, with methodical, long-term planning. Here's their genius approach. Instead of rushing to match Apollo, they built step by step. First, master Earth orbit, then lunar orbit, then robotic moon landings. Each mission builds on the last. Look at their track record. Chang'e 1 in 2007, lunar orbit success. Chang'e 3 in 2013, first soft moon landing in 37 years. Chang'e 4 in 2019, first landing on the moon's far side ever. Chang'e 5 in 2020, successful sample return. Notice the pattern? They're not just visiting the moon, they're learning how to live there. But here's what makes China's approach absolutely terrifying for America. While NASA's goals change with every president, China's space program spans decades. Their current plan runs through 2030, with clear milestones they actually hit. And their secret weapon? Money. Massive amounts of it. The hidden truth about China's real budget. China officially spends $8 billion annually on space. That's less than half of NASA's budget, so how are they winning? Because that $8 billion is just what they admit to. China's space program is run by the military. The same massive defense budget that funds the world's largest army also funds their rockets. When they launch a military satellite, is that defense spending or space spending? When they test dual-use technology, which budget does it come from? Western analysts estimate China's real space spending could be 20 to 30 billion annually, maybe more. They simply don't have to tell anyone. But money alone doesn't explain their success. There's something else, something that makes their approach fundamentally different from ours. something America lost decades ago. The one advantage that changes everything. Here's a question that should terrify every American. How many times has NASA's mission changed in the last 20 years? Bush wanted to go back to the moon by 2020. Obama canceled that, focused on asteroids instead. Trump revived the moon plan with Artemis. Biden kept Artemis but changed the timeline. Now Trump's back and wants to focus on Mars. Each change costs billions in canceled contracts, redesigned systems, lost momentum. It's like trying to build a house when the architect changes the blueprints every 2 years. China doesn't have this problem. When they commit to a plan, they stick to it. Their space program reports directly to the central government, not to politicians who change every 4 years. This stability gives them something America lost completely, the ability to think long-term. But there's another advantage China has that most people don't realize, and it's already changing the game. The technology gap that stunned NASA. Remember when American technology was obviously superior to Chinese technology? Those days are over. China's Chang'e 4 mission accomplished something no American spacecraft has ever done: land on the far side of the moon. To do this, they had to solve a problem NASA never tackled. How do you communicate with Earth when the moon itself blocks the signal? Their solution? A relay satellite positioned at a special point in space called L2, where Earth and Moon's gravity balance out perfectly. It's brilliant engineering that required precision we rarely see. But here's what should really worry you. China isn't just copying old American technology anymore. They're innovating beyond us. Their new Long March 9 rocket, planned for 2030, will be more powerful than NASA's space launch system. Their lunar lander design is more advanced than Apollo's. Their plans for a lunar base include 3D printing with moon dirt, technology NASA is still developing. How did this happen? While America spent 20 years focused on low Earth orbit and the International Space Station, China spent 20 years preparing for deep space, and now they're ready to make their move. But the real reason for this new moon race isn't national pride, it's something far more valuable. The energy revolution hidden on the moon. The moon contains an element called helium-3 that could change everything about power generation on Earth. Nuclear fusion using helium-3 produces incredible energy with virtually no radioactive waste. The problem? Helium-3 is incredibly rare on Earth, but the moon is covered in it. Solar wind has been depositing helium-3 on the lunar surface for billions of years. Scientists estimate there's enough to power Earth for thousands of years. China's space chief has stated publicly helium-3 mining is a major goal of their lunar program. They're not just planning to visit the moon, they're planning to strip mine it, and whoever gets there first gets to set the rules. But there's an even more immediate prize waiting on the moon, something that could reshape global power overnight. The real treasure, control of future technology. Your smartphone contains 17 different rare earth elements. Your electric car battery needs lithium, cobalt, nickel. Solar panels require silver and indium. Wind turbines need neodymium and dysprosium. Guess who controls most of these materials on Earth? China. They produce about 85% of the world's rare earth elements. This gives them enormous leverage over global technology. The moon could change that equation completely. Lunar soil contains titanium, aluminum, iron, and yes, rare earth metals. But here's the shocking part. Mining them on the moon might actually be easier than mining them on Earth. No environmental regulations, no water table to contaminate, no communities to relocate, just robots, solar power, and vacuum. China has already started testing this technology. Their Chang'e 5 mission brought back lunar samples specifically to study resource extraction. Chang'e 6 will test drilling techniques. Chang'e 8, planned for 2028, will demonstrate actual resource processing on the lunar surface. They're not planning to mine the moon someday, they're planning to mine it in the next decade. But here's where the story takes a devastating turn for America. Remember when Trump announced America would return to the moon by 2024? NASA's Artemis program was supposed to be our answer to China's challenge. 5 years and $50 billion later, Artemis has yet to put a single human in space. The problem started immediately. The Space Launch System rocket, based on old space shuttle technology, has been plagued by delays and cost overruns. Each launch cost $4 billion. That's more expensive than the entire Apollo program per mission. The Orion spacecraft, designed to carry astronauts to the moon, has flown exactly once, with no crew. The lunar lander exists only on paper. The Gateway space station, meant to support moon missions, has been scaled back repeatedly. But the real death blow came in May 2024. Trump's new budget proposal didn't just delay Artemis, it effectively killed it. The Gateway station? Canceled. The Orion program? Ended after Artemis 3. The Space Launch System? Shut down completely. NASA's budget was slashed from $25 billion to $19 billion, 25% gone, just like that. Why would Trump cancel his own moon program? One name explains everything. The Musk factor that changed everything, Elon Musk. When Trump returned to office, Musk had his ear on space policy. And Musk has always believed NASA's approach to the moon is completely wrong. Too expensive, too slow, too complicated. Instead of spending $4 billion per launch on the Space Launch System, Musk argues, use that money to fund SpaceX's Starship. Instead of building a tiny lunar gateway station, send massive Starship, loads of equipment directly to the lunar surface. It's a compelling argument. Starship, if it works, could carry 100 tons to the moon for a fraction of NASA's cost. But there's one massive problem. Starship doesn't work yet. While Musk's rockets explode in testing, China's rockets are already delivering payloads to the moon. While America debates which approach to take, China executes their plan methodically. The most telling moment came when Jared Isaacman, Trump's pick to lead NASA, was suddenly withdrawn from consideration. Why? Rumors suggest it was part of a broader conflict between Musk and Trump over space priorities. America can't even agree on who should run its space program, let alone how to beat China to the moon. The point of no return. Here's the brutal math that should terrify every American. China plans to land astronauts on the moon before 2030. Their timeline is aggressive but achievable. They've hit every major milestone so far. America's next crewed moon landing? There's no official date anymore. Artemis 3, originally planned for 2024, was pushed to 2026, then 2028, then quietly removed from all schedules. Even if America started a crash program tomorrow, it would take at least 8 to 10 years to develop new lunar capabilities from scratch. By then, China could have a permanent base operational. But the real tragedy isn't just losing the race, it's losing the future that comes with it. What Chinese lunar dominance actually means for you. It's 2035. China has a permanent lunar base with 50 residents. They're mining rare earth metals and shipping them back to Earth. They've discovered water ice at the poles and are producing rocket fuel on the lunar surface. Meanwhile, America is still trying to get its first crew to lunar orbit. In this scenario, China doesn't just control lunar resources. They control access to space itself. Rocket fuel produced on the moon costs a fraction of fuel launched from Earth. Chinese missions to Mars, to the asteroid belt, to the outer planets become dramatically cheaper. They become the dominant space power, not through military conquest, but through economic advantage. This isn't science fiction. China's published plans describe exactly this scenario. They call it the International Lunar Research Station, and they're inviting other countries to join, as junior partners, of course. Russia has already signed on. Pakistan, Belarus, South Africa are considering it. Even some traditional American allies are hedging their bets. Why wouldn't they? If China offers cheap access to lunar resources while America struggles to get back to low Earth orbit, which would you choose? But there's one final twist to this story, one technology that could change everything overnight, the wild card that could save America. SpaceX's Starship represents the ultimate wild card in this entire race. If Musk can make it work reliably, it could leapfrog decades of Chinese development overnight. Starship is designed to carry 100 to 150 tons to the lunar surface. That's more than China's entire Chang'e program combined. It could potentially land a complete lunar base in just a few flights, but that's a massive if. Starship has exploded in 4 of its 5 test flights. The technology is revolutionary, but it's also completely unproven. China, meanwhile, is building their lunar program with proven technology. Slower perhaps, but steady. Their approach might be the tortoise to America's hare. The question becomes, will American innovation triumph over Chinese persistence? Or is this just wishful thinking from a country that's already fallen too far behind? The clock is ticking. China's countdown to lunar dominance has already begun. So here's where we stand. America once dominated space through sheer determination and unlimited resources. But we got comfortable. We assumed our lead was permanent. China saw that complacency and seized their moment. The question isn't whether America can catch up. We absolutely can. American innovation, when properly funded and focused, remains unmatched. The question is, will we? Will we treat space as the ultimate frontier it truly is? Or will we keep letting politics and budget cuts decide our cosmic destiny? Because while we debate, China is already building tomorrow. What do you think? Is America's space dominance truly over? Or are we just getting started? Drop your thoughts below. And if this opened your eyes to what's really happening up there, hit that subscribe button. Space Corps brings you the stories that matter, the ones that shape our future among the stars. The moon race isn't just about national pride anymore. It's about who writes the next chapter of human civilization.